Hello, my name is Jackson McMurray.
My name's Adeline McMurray.
And this isn't No Nerds Allowed.
Oh, what is it?
I don't know. Let's find out together.
Yeah, let's go on an adventure. The bat symbol like comes up and swirls around a bunch, except this is an audio medium.
That that was a technique that I learned from our previous improv exercise.
The Batman logo?
No, just don't say was, say wasn't instead, and it's comedy gold.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you, homie.
So,
Take
okay.
my hand, I'll lead you through this improv wasteland.
So, I have an idea.
Yeah.
I say that we think about rebranding our channel a little bit. Rebranding this podcast, okay?
Yeah.
So as of right now, it's No Nerds Allowed with an exclamation point at the end, right?
Yeah.
What if instead it was No Nerds Allowed with an ellipses at the end? No Nerds Allowed. Like you're trailing off. It's kind of mysterious, you know?
That's just not, yeah, but like I like yelling. No, because it's we always talk about it's like the clubhouse door being slammed in your face.
No Nerds Allowed.
Bam. Yeah, that's what that exclamation part. Whoa.
Exclamation point.
That's what it represents. It has meaning. You can't take away its heritage. This is the stupidest fucking
podcast.
Listen, I don't understand what the problem is. We're doing great. Oh, hey, Jackson.
What?
I'm taking a watercolor class, and I really like it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
What have you learned?
The how to do the watercolors.
Great. What color's the water?
You change the color of the water.
You can choose?
Yeah.
You can choose which color the water will be?
Yeah, that's what you change it with the paint.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not like those coloring books I got when I was like 5 where you would just paint on it with water and the color underneath would come through?
No, because then why would anyone make anything?
Because I thought that was what the class was.
Yeah,
I have this really, do you know the thing I'm talking about where it's like just a white sheet and you just like use a little paintbrush and you put water on it, and as the page like gets wet, you can like see the color come through?
Yeah.
So I have this really distinct memory of having a birthday party when I was a kid, and there was a whole bunch of these like those coloring books where you just use water. And the one I was coloring was like X-Men themed. And I was painting this picture of the Juggernaut. And I was like, oh, the Juggernaut's the coolest.
It was like,
Yeah, I was like 5 years old and I thought I like knew shit about the X-Men.
About
and
anything.
in reality, I didn't know anything about anything. And I was like, Juggernaut's pretty much the coolest superhero ever. He's probably the strongest. He could probably fight anyone in the world and win. And our close family friend, Scott, who's like one of our parents' friends, who's like this total like adult nerd, like really into the Punisher kind of guy.
Actually knows everything about everything.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I'm like 7 years old, and he's like, Jackson, what about Wolverine? I was like, Juggernaut's cooler than Wolverine. He was like, but Wolverine has an adamantium skeleton, and he has a healing factor. I was like, no, because Juggernaut is really big, and he's got a cool helmet. And he was like, but the Wolverine is nearly unkillable. He can heal from any wound. And I was like, no, the Juggernaut is a big guy, and he's got cool things on his knuckles and big muscles.
And he's got a big stupid helmet. And
I remember
really
that,
like
him. Me being under 10 years old and having this conversation with this adult man. Like, he was I don't know, I guess he was just trying to, like, educate me about
Well, he was
the
just trying to
hierarchy
relate
of...
to you and just be like, hey, kid, Juggernaut's not that cool. And you know what? You gotta learn that lesson young, because Juggernaut's not that cool.
It's true, he's not that cool. He's pretty cool.
Remember in Deadpool 2, where the Juggernaut shows up, and for a split second during his intro, I thought it was gonna be Man-Ape, and I was really confused. Because they have him, like, locked in a cage, and he's, like, scrambling to get out, and you see, like, this big hand, like, get on the side of the cage wall,
right.
And I'm like, is that Man-Ape?
Is that M'Baku?
What we're doing?
I remember in X-Men 3 when the guy who's playing the Juggernaut was this big English guy, and he said, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch." Because of that hilarious viral video from the year, like, 2004.
Yeah, and that was, like, super cool. Like, oh, he said the B word.
He knows about the internet.
And he's British.
Have you seen that video?
No.
So it's like one of the early, like, hyper early YouTube viral videos.
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's just this scene of the X-Men cartoon of the Juggernaut, like, smashing stuff. And this guy who dubs it over is just like, and I'm gonna smash this. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. And I'm gonna smash. I'm gonna boo. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. And he says, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch," a whole bunch of times. And it's, like, truly maybe the least funny viral video that exists.
That's ever happened.
And somehow it got into the movie.
They're like, that's the one.
Somehow they were like, this is really good. We should put this in our for real movie.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah.
So here's something wonderful I just found.
Okay.
So there's a comic book forum called Comic Vine. And there's a whole, like, sub-forum for people being like, this guy versus this guy, who would win?
Yeah.
Because for some reason that's a whole thing in comics culture, but whatever.
Yeah.
And so here's just a post. Just curious, can adamantium go through the unstoppable Juggernaut? Will Wolverine's amazing healing ability keep him alive? Let's say that this is classic Juggernaut, no try-on, you bastards, and that Wolverine is in his prime, the best condition of his life.
And it's the good Wolverine, the good one.
This is a fight to the death. Depending on the BFR, I will debate to see if it is acceptable or not, LOL. Fight takes place in New York City with no people on it, and Juggernaut and Wolverine are standing 500 feet from each other, and Juggernaut is not chasing Wolverine yet.
Give him time. He'll figure it out.
And then all of the comments. Here's all the comments. Are you ready?
Yep.
This happened in the comics and Juggernaut won. So Scott?
Yep. Uh-huh.
So Scott, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Juggernaut is the coolest and strongest superhero in the world.
You better hope that none of our family friends show this to Scott.
Why?
He's gonna
I
kick
think
your
he'd be
ass,
happy
and I
about
will
it.
put it on YouTube.
No, he's not gonna kick my ass. He's
Good.
like the Wolverine, and I'm like the Juggernaut. I'll kick his ass.
Anyway. Unrelated, we don't have to put this in the podcast. Do they still have a pet skunk? Because they're the ones that had the pet skunk for a little bit, right?
Did they really?
I think so.
I think you're thinking about somebody
one of our
else.
family friends has a pet skunk.
They had a little bearded dragon named Smaug.
That was like, I'm pretty sure that bearded dragon's long dead.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Why did all of our family friends have super cool pets, and then we just had like a dog, and then nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah, mom
Because I'm
and dad
allergic
are
to
always
many
like, in
animals.
college we had a chinchilla and a rabbit, and I'm like, mom, a chinchilla, please. I would like one.
Chinchilla, please.
I want a chinchilla on my desk by 5.
One chinchilla, por favor. I want
Mi
that
madre.
stat.
Donde está?
Donde está
Mi
mi
chinchilla.
chinchilla?
Where
The
is
chinchilla
it?
that I rightfully
Give
deserve.
me the GPS location.
Okay, we
Track
fucked around
my
for long
package.
enough.
Yeah. What movie did we watch this week? Not this week. I guess this week. What movie did we watch, Jackson?
We did watch it this week. It's called The Muppets.
You may have heard of it.
Yeah. So this is not the original Muppets movie.
No.
This is the 2011 gritty reboot of The Muppets.
Yeah. Kermit has a gun. New York has been destroyed by a nuclear bomb. And we're in
they're
the
fighting
fallout.
like these...
And I mean, this is a nuclear fallout in an alternate universe where China and Europe became one big country. We all know that, right? This is like basic 101 stuff. They established it in the comics, so we don't even really need to bring it up. The universes at some point during the movie collide, and we introduce the Muppet Babies universe into this new Muppet universe. Fozzie says the F word. It's really good.
You had that so ready. Like...
Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's pretty good.
I was
the
trying to
action
think
scenes
of
are
different
good.
jokes. I was trying to think of jokes to do with that, but like every second that passed, you just made another one that was infinitely better than anything that was happening in my head.
I mean, the action choreography is pretty good. It's just not believable that Miss Piggy could do a backflip, though. Like, it's just such a Mary Sue thing. Motorcycle chase is pretty good through the decaying corpse of a giant whale. I mean, it's pretty good.
What the fuck? Okay, first of all.
Yeah.
Miss Piggy has definitely done a backflip before. No
she
no
like
more
literally
jokes.
actually does a backflip in this movie.
That's right. Okay, yeah. So no jokes.
Yeah. No, that
You've
was
ruined
the
the
joke.
credibility of your joke.
No, that was the joke about the new trailer for new Star Wars movie where Rey does a backflip. And every neckbeard on the planet went, women can't do backflips.
Oh, yeah?
Which is just, like, that's your problem with what...
with what
like,
happened?
this is what you're choosing to be mad about? Anyway, The Muppets.
Okay. So this is The Muppets, 2011, directed by one Mr. James Bobin. You want to know...
him.
Yeah, you want to know this guy's credentials? Top-notch stuff. The Muppets.
Great.
The Muppets Most Wanted, the second one that was bad.
So,
Alice in Wonderland 2. And
Tim
the
Burton
Dora
one?
the Explorer movie that's coming out.
Oh, hell yeah. Wait, do you mean the Alice in Wonderland Through the Looking Glass that nobody saw?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, gotcha. The one that they were, like, adjacent to Tim Burton.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Tim Burton was in the room at one point. You can't say that he wasn't.
Have you seen the trailer for that Dora the Explorer movie, by the way?
No, I've only seen the, like, picture for it.
Okay, so here's the thing about it.
Yes.
You know how sometimes when a movie comes out that's so ridiculous and the trailer just looks really horrible and awful and everyone's like, oh no, this is so bad, haha, what?
Yeah.
Kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog, for instance. This
Yeah.
trailer's not like that. Because this trailer's just, no, it's just, it looks very bad and it's very boring.
Oh.
There's nothing even funny about it.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, this looks like it's probably not gonna be good.
This will be boring. Okay. We're gonna talk about the Muppets eventually, I swear. But, like,
Okay.
there's this new thing happening in media where people love rebooting things, and that's a totally different conversation. But they like rebooting children's media for adults,
Right.
but they keep picking children's media that the adults don't care about or have any nostalgia for. So they're
Right.
basically just making kids' movies for kids that kids can't see.
Right.
So it's like, you're not making this movie for anyone. I don't know
Yeah.
why you made this film. And I feel like Dora the Explorer is going to be exactly like that. Like,
Right.
I'm not particularly nostalgic for Dora the Explorer.
No.
And no child's going to see this movie if it's
Right.
PG-13.
It's not a PG-13 movie. I'm pretty sure it's a kids movie.
Oh. I have no idea what the fuck they're doing with that movie.
It's Nickelodeon Studios, so it's just,
Oh, weird.
they're just doing their own thing. But it is going to come out in theaters as far as I know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things that I was like, oh, like that notification came up on my like YouTube feed, like
Yeah.
the trailer for Dora the Explorer movie, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, like here we go.
Heck yes.
And then I watched it, and it was just like, oh,
Time for Clown Town.
it's just like that. That was just not really very interesting.
No. Okay, do you want to talk about the Muppets now?
Yeah. So this is a reasonably divisive movie, I think.
Which I was very surprised to hear, because...
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I watched this movie when I was 11, and it came out when I was 11, so it's not like I was looking up movie reviews.
Right.
And being like, oh, people didn't like the Muppets movie? I was 11, so I liked it.
Right. No, I fucking loved this movie when it came out.
Oh, yeah.
It was, like... I have, like, vivid memories of, like, seeing this movie in the theater... being like, that was the best fucking thing that's ever happened to me. And then, like, for the 4 months between, like, seeing it in theaters and it coming out on DVD, it was, like, all I could think about. I was always just like, God, I wish I could watch the musical number at the beginning again. And I, like, had the soundtrack, and I listened to it, like, all the time.
Yeah,
and
I vividly remember the soundtrack.
Yeah, and I just, like, I ached to watch it again.
Yeah,
I was just thinking about it, like, all the time.
The weirdest part about that is that if I was 11, you were 14.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was 14 or 15 when it came out. For some reason, it just, like, really, really struck me exactly the right way for that moment in my life.
Hell yeah. You're coming into puberty, you're figuring out who you are, and you're like, oh, man, the Muppets is where I belong. Other kids, it's like Naruto, but you're like, nah, man.
I think part of it was probably just because, like, I was starting to watch things that weren't, like, I don't know. I guess I was still, like, mostly only watching kids content at that point.
Yeah.
And, like, the Muppet movie was just really funny. Yeah. And it was, like, way funnier than all the other stuff I was used to, you know?
The other crap I was watching.
Right, yeah.
Alright, so... down to brass tacks, because we've been just talking for 20 minutes. God.
Right. So, by the way, just a heads up, housekeeping, we're not going to keep debriefing the whole movie like we have been doing.
We're just going to talk like we did in the OGs.
Yeah, because we kind of decided that us spending too much time recapping the movie is just kind of dead air. Like, it doesn't take anything out of us to do that, and there's not really much of our own flavor or talent that we can bring to that.
You don't get the sultry tones and the sweet flavor.
Right. Okay, do you keep having some music that keeps cutting in and out on your end?
No.
Okay. I must just be insane. Oh, I see. So I was looking up on IMDb the Dora the Explorer movie, but there's like an ad that keeps trying to play and then stopping itself. So every once in a while I just get like dirt. I just have to be like, I thought that was on your end. I thought you were like clicking something accidentally.
You've been looking for?
Listen to this. It's the first 1/2 of a second from this Lowe's ad on IMDb.
Lowe's. Buy it beautiful.
They've got a Memorial Day sale going on.
Oh, hell yeah. Support your dead people. Okay. So the one thing that it's actually not called the Muppet movie, it's just called the Muppets. But the one thing that the Muppets does that's really smart, I think, especially when you're rebooting a franchise like the Muppets, is that, like, you're coming into it with that nostalgia factor. Like, it's the Muppets. Everyone knows the Muppets. Everyone loves the Muppets. If you don't love the Muppets, then there's something wrong with you. So to, like, kind of reboot the series and start the movie through the eyes of a character that, like, already kind of gets that nostalgia out of the way, I think is really, really smart.
No, like, yeah, he's a very like explicit audience surrogate in this movie.
Yeah, like Walter. Yeah, exactly. That's why he's so lovable, because Walter is just like every kid that you know that has that special thing that he's obsessed with, and you're just like super supportive of him, and you just love him. Like, Walter's a great character. Screw you, the Flophouse.
This is in reference to the fact that on the podcast, The Flophouse, they've often said that they don't like Walter.
I assumed they could have figured that out, but great. Yeah. You keep saying you want to start, like, beef. Let's start beef.
Let's start beef with the Flophouse?
Yeah.
About Walter?
I guarantee they will never hear this.
God,
but let's go. Fuck you
I'd
guys.
like to
you don't
imagine
like
the day.
Walter? You're coming after my boy Walter?
Do you think we could get James Bobin on the podcast if we started a beef with the Flophouse?
Yes.
James Bobin being the director of the Muppets, not a member of the Flophouse.
You know what? It's really good that you specified that because... Anyway. But yeah. There's just like a really interesting way, especially because there's a lot of that going on recently where we're taking old franchises and kind of just rebooting them for the next generation. And so far, everyone, or not everyone, but a lot of those have been able to, like, rebrand themselves in, like, a cool, creative way. So for the Muppets to be like, yeah, we're the Muppets, you already know.
Right.
You're already on board, you know what's going on. So, like, let's just, like, get it out of the way. We love the Muppets, start movie.
Right. I was going to say, the very first thing I have written down is, like, just the gag that Jason Segel and Walter are brothers, and one of them's a person and the other one's a Muppet is really funny.
Yeah. His name's
just
Gary.
The truth.
Please. Come on. Anyway,
okay,
yeah.
Gary.
It's Gary, Mary, and Walter.
And there's also a really funny gag where Walter has this Kermit the Frog Halloween costume.
Yeah.
That I just think is really funny.
Yeah, what surprised me about this movie is, like, how well all of these jokes land. Like, it's so funny.
No, yeah, I was really worried that it wasn't going to be as funny as I remember it, but, like,
yeah.
these jokes, like, still really hold up.
Yeah, they're really good. And of course, jokes are never funny when they repeat them, especially in a movie, but they're all really good.
Yeah. And the next thing I have written down is pretty early for a dream sequence, huh?
Yeah, I think I did get that right out of the way.
Like, right at the very beginning, it's like, here's Walter. He loves the Muppets. Let's take a look at his nightmares. Like,
lay down on the couch. Let's really psychoanalyze this new character.
He has this weird, like, dream where the Muppets come out of his TV and invite him to be on the show, but then he can't get through the TV and he freaks out. And it's like, couldn't this happen, like, later when it's more relevant?
Like, and then Gary is like, immediately, did you have the dream again? So Walter's got some things. Got some things he's working on. He's a work in progress.
I was going to say, they wake up and Gary's like, did you have the dream? And he's like, yeah.
No.
But it's fine. I can't believe you and Mary have been dating for 10 years and we're going to Los Angeles tomorrow.
No, you're missing the good part of that, which is that it's a good goof. He's like, did you have that dream again? And he goes, no. What's up with you in your life? And it's really good.
Right, okay. Yeah, my point is that he wakes up and basically the conversation is just like, I can't believe that your name is Gary and your girlfriend's name is Mary and you've been dating for a very long time and you're hoping to go to Los Angeles in order to have a dinner and she thinks maybe you're going to propose to her. That's so cool, Gary.
And I am very sad that I do not get to accompany you on this trip because my dream is to go to Muppets. Me love Muppets.
Because of my dream, my Muppet dream.
My Muppet dream. Take with you me. To put me in your bag.
Because of all my Muppet-based fantasies.
My Muppet baby fantasies. Where I am the Muppet baby.
I am a Muppet baby.
Look at me. I'm baby. I think it's actually kind of funny that, like, one of the main themes of this movie is, like, how, like, cool and important it is to have representation in your life. That, like, Walter's, like, whole thing is that he sees a TV show where there's people that, like, look like him and act like him, and that, like, changes his life. I don't know. I just think that's really nice. Especially back in 2011, which was a little bit before we kind of started having that conversation about representation in media. I just thought it was cool. Good job, Muppets. You don't pass the Bechdel test, but you do this.
I'm trying to think if there's any weird stretches I can make to make that work. No, okay. What about when Miss Piggy and the mean pig get in a fight?
Oh, you're right.
And she says, look, there's an omelet station, and she looks around, and then she gets kicked.
Yeah.
Does that count?
You're totally right. Never mind. You got me.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, the Bechdel test needs to kind of be more specific about some things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's like a conversation not about a man, and like that's a good criteria. But you could have a conversation where two women like just like insult each other for 20 minutes. It's like, well, you did it, but
right. And it's the whole thing. It's like, it's this weirdly specific thing that for some reason people use to just be like a check mark for like, is this movie good
or bad?
Yeah, exactly. Like, check Bechdel test. And it's like,
yeah,
I mean, it's an interesting, piece of data,
exactly.
like, and it's definitely like highlights a specific problem, but it's like, there are a lot of movies that don't pass the Bechdel test that are actually like really intensely feminist, and a lot of movies that do that are not. So
yeah, it's just, I always just think it's interesting to look at because it's just a part of a bigger whole because it's a movie. So it's just like looking at this context. It's like, are there two female characters that talk to each other just like period? It's just really interesting to look at.
Yeah. My favorite example is like everybody's always like, oh, famous movies that don't even pass, and they're like Forrest Gump, and it's like, well, there's not a conversation in that entire movie that one half of it isn't Forrest Gump.
Yeah, Forrest.
So like, this doesn't really count.
Yeah. Someone was like, Mad Max Fury Road doesn't pass the Bechdel test, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, I didn't see it, so yeah, thanks, guy.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me that. Haven't seen it. Heard it's very good. It's not on my list. Haven't seen it yet.
So, the next thing I have written down, I believe at this point we're at where they're like in LA and like taking a tour of Muppet Studios.
Well, I want to talk about Life's a Happy Song first, cause like.
Okay.
Well,
take a breath.
Yep. We already kind of talked how, like, this is a Muppet movie. So you have, like, the whole history and baggage of the Muppets and all the other Muppet movies. And I feel like this movie is really, really self-aware.
Right.
And, the whole Life's a Happy Song is so campy and funny and silly and, like, just, like, totally outrageous. And, like, but it's, like, self-aware about it. Like, this is a Muppet movie, so we're in a small town. It's the 50s. The whole town is dancing. There's a lot of jokes, and everyone is involved. And it's like, hell yeah, because, like, it's the Muppets. You could just do that. Like, they're totally aware of being a Muppet movie, and I feel like they do it really well.
Okay, that was actually what I was about to talk about. So, okay. This is, like, partially praise and partially weird conspiracy theories, so buckle up.
Kermit's been dead the whole time.
Okay, so, like, the original Muppets show, in the canon of the story, was like, oh, there are these puppets, and they're putting on a show for the audience. This is just, like, a show. And then in the first Muppet movie...
It was, like, the origin story.
Right, and it's, like, a movie that the Muppets made.
Yeah.
So it makes sense in its own weird kind of way that it has a lot of, like, self-referential, like, meta humor because it's, like, a movie in the context of a movie,
Yeah. They're making a movie and this is the movie.
Right, but it's, it's, like, all of the meta humor comes in this, like, step removed,
Yeah, this, like, fourth wall kind of break.
Right, but in this movie, it's just the movie. So it's like...
No. They make lots of jokes. They're like, oh, man, this is going to be a short movie. I didn't know we had that in the budget.
I know, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
My point is that there's not a piece of canon that establishes that this is a movie separated from reality or this is a show separated from reality, It's like, at what point did the real Kermit the Frog who made that self-referential movie actually become in a movie himself? Does that make sense?
No, not even a little bit.
Okay, hold on.
I'm not absorbing any of this.
So, in this canon, the Muppets are like real guys. They live in the world. Mm-hmm. They made a movie that has a lot of meta humor in it. Yes. Because they're real guys who live in the real world.
Yes.
In this movie, it is presumably the same Muppets that live in the real world previously, yeah?
Yeah.
They now are suddenly making jokes about how they are in a movie.
Yeah.
So, like, what if I randomly one day just started making weird cracks about how everything was a movie?
No one would talk to you.
Exactly. My point is, at some point, At some point, the Muppets stopped being real and started being a movie.
Jackson, I have some heartbreaking news to tell you about the Muppets and their connection to reality. It's that they're not. They don't. It isn't. But I
This is some high level shit. I like.
Yeah,
do you get
I have
it?
no idea what you're talking about. Okay, maybe it's because like I think Walter's making this movie. It's like Mary and Gary and Walter. They're making this movie.
So your theory is that Walter made this movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
that does solve the paradox.
Yeah. Because he's the next generation. He's the millennial that thinks that he could just come in here and make a movie.
Maybe you could say that all Muppet movies following the original Muppet movie are also just movies in the Muppet canon that the Muppets made.
Yeah. Yeah, aren't they? I think only the first one is really where they're like, this is a movie that the Muppets are making.
Yeah.
Because, like, thinking about, like, the Muppets Take Manhattan, because the Muppets Take Manhattan takes place in the past.
Right, it's just like a movie.
Yeah, well, because it's when they first get out of college. That's the whole thing.
Right, that's right. That's a really funny gag, by the way.
No, dude, Muppets Take Manhattan is great. And then in the Muppets in Space, where they don't go to space, yeah, that's just a movie too. They're not like, oh, we're making a movie. I think your canon falls apart because I think only the first one is where they're like, this is the Muppets making a movie. The rest of them are just Muppet movies.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying from the beginning.
Well, then it's in between the Muppet movie and the Muppets Take Manhattan. Unless there's a movie in between those that I'm forgetting about.
There's a bunch of them.
Probably. Yeah. What's the one where Mrs. Piggy, like, steals a diamond?
I think that's Muppets from Space.
No, it's not.
No, wait, I'm confusing the heist in Muppets Take Manhattan with the heist from Muppets in Space.
Yeah. No, it's because it's the one where she's like a mermaid dancer, and there's like that big scene where they're like at the ballroom and they're performing, and then the lights go out and they're like, oh, Miss Piggy's wearing the necklace or something. It's not Muppets Take Manhattan.
That's the Great Muppet Caper. The
Great Muppet Caper. I think that was before. I think that was after. I could look this up instead of just trying to remember what Muppet movies exist. Siri, call Kermit the Frog. I don't know why I don't have him
Muppet movies.
speed dial.
Okay. So are you ready?
Yeah.
The Muppet movie. The Great Muppet Caper. The
Boom.
Muppets Take Manhattan.
Boom.
Muppet Vision 3D.
What the fuck?
Which I think is the ride at Disneyland.
Oh, I do know that then.
Yeah. Muppet Christmas Carol. Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah.
Muppets from Space.
Yeah.
Kermit's Swamp Years.
Okay.
It's a very merry Muppet Christmas movie.
Okay.
The Muppets Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then the most recent two.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Well, but all of their, like, cameo ones, where it's, like, the Muppets as something, I think those are part of the Muppet movie canon, where it's the Muppets making a movie.
Right.
Unless these are alternate universes in which Kermit is the Tin Man.
Right.
Or is the Scarecrow, whatever it was.
I think he was the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Remember in Muppet Christmas Carol when, like, Kermit the Frog, like, the main character of the whole thing, got to be fucking Bob Cratchit?
Yeah. He nails it, though?
He does nail it. It's true. No, look. Don't get me wrong. Muppet Christmas Carol is the best Muppet movie by about a million years.
It's so damn good. Can we just talk about the Muppets Christmas Carol? It's, like, the best Christmas Carol movie. Like, honestly.
For sure. But it's still just, like, why'd you make Gonzo the main guy? Like...
Yeah, why is Gonzo Mr. Dickens?
Okay, anyway, let's get back to this movie, because we're going to be here for a million years if we keep talking about every other piece of Muppets media.
Yeah. But see, the problem with this movie is that it just really makes me wish that I could watch, because it has that nostalgia factor. It makes me wish that I could watch The Muppet Show without having to buy a $100 DVD set in order to watch it.
Right. It might be on Amazon now.
Maybe. Well, it'll probably be on the Disney streaming service, right?
Perhaps.
Right?
I mean, Muppets wasn't always Disney.
That's
so
true.
I don't think they own the
OG
stuff.
Yeah. I
don't know.
Look it up. Anyway.
Could figure it out later. So, what's next?
To get to LA.
Oh, basically, I just kind of wanted to say that, like, the whole, like, meta humor, self-referential stuff was, like, really innovative and really interesting in 1980, whatever, when the first one came out. And, like, it's still really funny now. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it's just, like, not quite as special, I feel like.
It's just not, like, edgy humor anymore.
Exactly,
it's just been done.
Yeah. Anyway, that's basically all that stuff I was trying to say earlier was building up to that.
Yeah. So they get to LA and they go to the Muppets tour and it's all run down and there's a tour guide who doesn't care and it's all very funny.
Right.
He doesn't care. Jackson, he doesn't care about his job.
And he's very old and he has yet to retire. He has to work well into old age.
Yeah, and he lies to some Chinese people. Okay.
This is another thing. So the Muppets have this, like, long tradition of, like, celebrity cameos. That's, like, part of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like this movie doesn't do it quite the same as the old Muppet movies did. Because in the old Muppet movies, like, celebrities would show up as a character. And they would, like, do a bit with the Muppets, you know? Like, Steve Martin showed up and was that shitty sommelier in the original one. Remember that?
That's right.
Because that was fucking hilarious.
That's really good. I forgot about that scene.
But yeah, they were always, like, characters, kind of. And this movie does that a few times. Like, you know, this is Alan Arkin coming in and doing a bit, being a character.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times it's just like, I'm Neil Patrick Harris. Look at me. Next thing.
Yeah.
You
well,
know?
it's because they're trying to base it in reality a little bit. So when Jack Black walks on a screen, you're like, that's not Barry from whatever the fuck you're trying to tell me he is. That's Jack Black. You can't lie to me, Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, and like fucking Mickey Rooney at the end of Life's a Happy Song. He's just like, life's a happy song, or whatever the fuck he says.
He lives there.
And
That's
like,
his home.
Mickey Rooney, what are you doing here? What are you even in besides Santa Claus and Night at the Museum, dog?
They didn't want to have to force Mickey Rooney to like do anything other than sit there and say a thing. He's like 10 billion years old.
I'm just saying, I don't think he really needed to be in the movie.
I want him to be there because he's a precious old man. Okay. He's adorable.
Remember him in Night at the Museum?
Yeah, he's so good in Night at the Museum.
Because he's really funny in Night at the Museum.
He's just so good. Oh man, I love Dick Van Dyke. That's a different thing, but like, man, I have so much love in my heart for Dick Van Dyke. Anyway.
Who was, of those three old men, who was the black guy? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Hold on.
I know him. I know him. His name escapes me.
I can't even picture him right now.
I can't. He's in another thing.
Okay, Bill Cobbs is his name.
Yeah.
He's also in this movie, apparently.
Oh.
Oh, he's in Hudsucker Proxy.
Oh. Oh, yeah, he plays God, doesn't he?
I haven't seen the Hudsucker Proxy.
Okay, Hudsucker Proxy does that stupid thing where there's a black guy who's a janitor, and so that means that he's God, like in every single movie. He was
Moses. According to IMDb, he plays Moses in the Hudsucker Proxy.
And is that Moses? Am I getting... Oh, God, I better not be getting two black characters confused. It's been a grip since I've seen Hudsucker Proxy.
Wait,
but that's look up he's like the janitor guy in Hudsucker Proxy.
No, I'm sure that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nobody credited as God in the Hudsucker Proxy,
okay.
so...
But his name's Moses, so you know.
Right.
Because he, like, has this, like, weird fight scene with a broom with this guy that's, like, definitely represents the devil or whatever.
Right.
And then, what's-his-face, like, falls off the building or something. Hey, the Hudsucker Proxy isn't a good movie, just BT dubs.
Okay, I still haven't seen it, so I can't defend it, but...
Yeah, it's not great.
Okay, if you say so.
Man, we're doing a really bad job of talking about the Muppets.
That's true, we'll get there.
Yeah.
So the next thing I've written down is that the big bear that's always like the henchman.
Oh, he's my favorite.
I think my
love the
favorite
bear.
Muppet. I think he is my all-time favorite Muppet.
He's so good. He's so sweet. He's in the Muppets from Space too, because he's like the evil like Men in Black character, but he's just hilarious.
I don't think he was even in the original Muppet Show.
No, I think he was
a later
introduced
edition.
in the Muppets from Space, actually.
Big Muppet Bear.
They never say his name, but I love him.
Bobo. His name is
Bobo.
Bobo.
His name's Bobo.
Hold on. I want to see if he was in the Muppet Show or if he was only Bobo the Bear, Muppet Wiki. Oh, no, he was in the Muppet Show.
Oh.
Hold on. Oh, he was on Muppets Tonight.
Oh,
which I think was
Muppets After Hours.
It ran for 2 years from 1996 from 1998.
So you know it's good.
Yeah, I guess it was just them trying to like reboot the Muppet Show and doing a mediocre job.
Yeah, because they've never done that recently. Anyway, but yeah.
So yeah, anyway, Bobo's probably my favorite Muppet. It's very funny. It's not until later where there's this moment where they're like washing a window and he just like sprays the other guy with Windex and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I get you?" And it's really funny.
And the other guy's like, "Yes." Like he's so good. Anyway, yeah. But so Walter sneaks off to go look at all the stuff in the room. And you have that really good scene where he's like, "There's oil under here, boys. I could smell it." Also, the geological survey says that there definitely is.
I know, that's a really good one too.
Yeah.
I got to a point around here where I was like, I can't just keep writing down all the jokes that are funny because that's
so
all my
many
notes are going to be.
But they did... Okay, so there's this thing that the villain does where he doesn't laugh maniacally. He says maniacal laugh.
Right.
Which is... It's not a good goof.
No.
Because they take out the context for it.
Yeah. No, there's a deleted scene where they explain that like he has some goofy trauma as a kid and as a result he can't laugh anymore. So now he just says maniacal laugh.
Yeah.
But they cut that scene out of it and it like ruins that whole joke.
Yeah, but they also cut out why he hates the Muppets. Because it's like he went to the Muppet Show and the Muppets made fun of him and all the kids laughed at him. And so he never laughed again and now he hates the Muppets. And it's like... kind of critical to the story that this guy doesn't like the Muppets.
And there's so much shit in this movie that they could have cut out.
Oh, hell yeah.
And they decided to cut out the thing that makes the movie make sense.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Okay, we'll get to all the stuff they could cut out later.
Yeah.
There's also that moment where he hears that and Walter runs out and they do this like vertigo shot on him.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
He's running down the street like screaming and the camera doesn't move at all. It's like that shot in It where Pennywise is dancing and it stays on his face. But it's just this Muppet screaming as he runs down the street.
So anyway, they meet Kermit. And also the moment where they're trying to throw him over the electric fence and he gets shocked is kind of funny. But then afterwards when he's like, "Throw me again, what kind of throw was that?"
It's really good.
It's great.
But I love about that. Well, first of all, Kermit's just like, "What's up? I'm Kermit the Frog. Do you want some tab?" But
it's cool that you broke into my house.
Yeah, I'm fine. I've caught you literally in the act of breaking into my house, and I'm just like super cool about it. What's up? My name is Kermit the Frog. I just punched my microphone.
I know, I can hear it. It's fine.
Yeah. But what I love about the scene is that they're like, "Oh man, this guy's gonna he's gonna destroy the theater in order to drill for oil," which is a hilarious plot because it's very Muppets.
Yeah.
We also forgot that scene where he goes, "There's oil under here, see? Sweet, sweet oil, see?" People still talk like that? Anyway, yeah. But so not only is Kermit silly and great, but he also has like these really giant oil painting dramatic portraits of all of his friends just like in his house.
Right, yeah, man.
So that he can sing very sad songs about what could have been.
Right. Okay. I don't know. I kind of intellectually have a beef with the way that this movie goes, but in practice, I don't think it really matters. Which is that, like, the story, and it's not necessarily as relevant in 2011, but in the modern day, people are constantly trying to get artists to do things, whether that's remake the last season of Game of Thrones, or fix Sonic the Hedgehog, or don't cast Robert Pattinson as Batman. Like, everyone is constantly, like, lobbying and petitioning and trying to make people do what they want when they make art.
Yeah, like having consumers being in control of the art that's being made.
Yeah, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And this movie rides a thin line in terms of that. Because on the one hand, Walter's not trying to control anything. He's just like, you guys should get back together. It is sort of like, I get, because it's not any different. They go back to doing exactly the old thing that Walter likes so much, you know? Yeah, it's not like, but it's also what they want to do, so it's not quite the same. But
well, it's also because they're getting back together out of necessity. Like, Walter has always loved the Muppets, and the Muppets haven't been on for a very long time. He could have marched up and been like, hey, you need to remake the Muppets anytime. But he's only doing it now because there's an emergency, because the theater's going to be destroyed. So it's not like, I like the Muppets, they should come back. There's actual consequences. Like, it's going to be lost forever if you don't do it now.
Right. And it's, you know, it's one of those things that wouldn't have mattered to me at all under different world circumstances.
Yeah, but you didn't live in the world.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we can move on. I don't know. I guess I just kind of wanted to address that because it's like, there's a really good quote from George R.R. Martin. I don't know if it was since everybody hated the last season of Game of Thrones or if it was just serendipitous that he said something like this way before, where he said, like, art is not a democracy. You don't get to vote on what somebody creates. And I was like, fuck yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's like, we're not saying that you can't not like something. You can hate something all you want. You can write about how bad something is or how much it sucks. But to be like, it's this weird, and I also think it's partially because of Twitter, where like this happens. Or
just social media in general.
Yeah, this happens all the time with Steven Universe, where people will like make death threats to the creators and like always giving their 2 cents to the creators, and it's like you don't get to do that.
Right, yeah.
Like, you cannot like something all day long, but you don't get to tell an artist that they can't make something because you do not like it.
Right, yeah. And that's the thing, is like, I could talk about this forever. I'm going to try to keep this short.
Yeah,
but,
no, I got you.
Especially, it really, really makes me mad when it's something that's famously divisive, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, Sonic the Hedgehog, it's like, everybody hates it. You know, you can do your petition thing. And I still hate that you're doing it, and I hate even more that they're actually doing it and changing it, because it's just encouraging it.
Yeah. Well, the Sonic the Hedgehog thing is a little bit differently, because they actually, like, kind of talked about how it's like, well, that shitty Sonic isn't the real Sonic anyway. They already had a better Sonic, but they wanted you to think that there was a shitty Sonic, so they would get a whole bunch of PR.
Is that true?
I don't know if it's true, but there's some evidence to suggest that.
Right. No, yeah, no, I have... See, I kind of thought that until they announced that they were going to delay the movie.
Well, people think that because they're not putting the date back for the release, so people are like, I think you already have a better
they are.
Sonic.
They just announced they're putting it off until February.
Oh, are they? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Then I don't know.
I was going to say, because I thought the same thing, too. I totally thought they were just faking it so they could get meme clout. But now that they're like, it seems like they're actually doing work on it. It's like, okay, maybe this was true. Anyway, point is like, if it's something like Sonic the Hedgehog, you still don't get to be in charge of what it is like. But regardless, it's like, everybody hates it. You can like express that you're upset, whatever. But if it's something that's like The Last Jedi, which like famously half of all people love and half of all people hate.
Yeah.
If you're writing petitions,
half of those people are wrong.
But if you're like, regardless, if you're writing petitions that are like, get rid of Last Jedi, remake Last Jedi, make it good, make it our version, you are either like actively in like stating that everybody else's opinion is like somehow less valid than yours, or you're just so childish that you literally can't imagine that anybody could think differently than you.
Yeah.
And it's like such an open insult to like people who like a thing, you know?
Yeah, that like this is so bad that it shouldn't even exist and you like it?
Right, yeah. And it's like they can't even accept that this means something to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's like just about me and what I want. Me, you know?
Yeah.
God damn it. Okay.
I know.
You know, and I hate that they're fixing Sonic the Hedgehog because it's like now, especially now that there's more and more evidence of like fans being angry about something and studios like actually doing something and fixing it.
Yeah.
It's like every time somebody doesn't like something, they can't just be disappointed. It's going to be a crusade.
Yeah.
You know, like they have to fight in order to make it their way. And that's like
and
just
if
not the world I
studio
want to live in.
doesn't conform, then they're weirdly a villain. It's just
sucks.
But
and I hate it.
But in the case of Sonic the Hedgehog, the Sonic was bad. They did a bad
True,
job.
that's true. That's true. The Sonic was bad. I'm saying they should have kept it bad.
Yeah.
Like they
you made
their
a bad
bed,
movie.
they should
You
lie
just
in
gotta
it.
accept it.
Yeah, like in 2001, people weren't petitioning to stop Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Like it sucked.
We all just knew it was gonna be bad, and we moved on.
No, it's not even that. It's like after it came out, people weren't like, God damn it, Star Wars sucks, and they're not listening to the fans, and we gotta make this right. They were just like, oh, the new Star Wars sucks. That's a big bummer.
Yeah.
Such is life.
We're talking about Star Wars now. I just think it's so funny whenever there's a new Star Wars movie coming out and they're like, oh, they're gonna ruin the franchise. And I'm like, sir, the franchise has been ruined so many times. We are not the first to land here.
Y'all have burnt my Star Wars.
Y'all burnt my Star Wars so many times. It is burnt. Anyway.
God damn it. Okay.
But yeah. So I'm looking at the portrait of Miss Piggy in Kermit's house. I'm really, really, really glad that modern Miss Piggy looks the way she does, because she looks really good. Because if you look at OG Miss Piggy,
bad.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's very bad.
It's very well. Even like Muppet movie Miss Piggy, like the original Muppet movie, like even that Miss Piggy is just like a little bit wrong. Okay. No, it's not great yet. And then you get into like Muppet Caper and she looks fine. It's like, okay, we figured it out. This is Miss Piggy. Please don't change her.
Okay. I have an idea for you.
Okay.
We are an hour into this recording.
Yeah.
And we're about 20 minutes into the movie.
Yep. You want to do a two-parter?
Yeah, what do you say we do a two-parter? Are you down with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. We could just find a point once we hit about halfway through the movie. We could be like, okay, see you next time. And we'll do that. Okay.
Okay. Well, we probably shouldn't do a secondary thing then.
We should just do a secondary thing at the very end.
Okay, fine. Okay. Can I drop a bomb real quick?
Yeah, do it.
Just a little one.
Go off.
And I'm always, this is just in the back of my head because I'm a girl and I like girl characters. But like, I feel like Walter could have been a female character and it literally would have changed nothing.
True enough.
And it's like, yeah, like you're introducing this new character that grew up with the Muppets and is interested in them and is helping them out stuff. It's like, there's just, I don't know. I would have liked it if Walter was a girl. I think it would have been cute and it would have been fun. And why not?
Not to mention that there are like no female Muppets besides Miss Piggy.
There are no female characters in this movie.
Who is a pretty bad piece of representation, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, you have Mary. Mary's fine. She knows how cars work. She can change a light bulb. She can dance around. She has really pretty outfits. She's cool. I'm fine with Mary. But then you have Miss Piggy.
Video game donkey for a second.
What?
Never mind.
Okay. But then you have Miss Piggy, who's like, people say she's a feminist icon, but is she really?
No.
Is she really though?
Miss Piggy is made up of like maybe all of the most harmful female stereotypes that exist.
I mean, she's literally a pig.
Yeah. It's pretty. Oh, I like. Look. We all love Miss Piggy. Everyone loves Miss Piggy.
Don't get me wrong.
It's pretty fucked though. Like.
If you really think too bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
I love Miss Piggy. I grew up with Miss Piggy. She is a pig, though. Like,
Yeah.
that's her whole thing.
And she's like super emotional and high maintenance, and
Yeah.
she only exists because she's Kermit the Frog's girlfriend. And
Yeah.
No, it's rough.
They try to fix her a little bit. She's like, she does like plus sized fashion in this movie, which is
Right.
like cool. But then she is still Miss Piggy the rest of the movie.
Right, yeah.
And she's fine. She's a work in progress. She's fine.
She's just a relic from an earlier time, and that's okay.
Yeah. Then we keep bringing her out of the closet and just expecting it to work as well, and it doesn't really. But we
Right,
just
yeah.
kind of let it happen. We're fine with it. But yeah, I would love to have more female characters that were like actual real characters. And I feel like having Walter be a girl would like just kind of like fix all of that. And it's just
Right.
like, I don't know. Like literally, it changes nothing. It just would have been nice if there was a female
Yeah.
character that was like good.
Adeline,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking drop a bomb on you right now.
Okay.
Um,
What if Kermit
could-
was a girl?
no. I'm just gonna like prove you wrong. I'm gonna like drop the mic on this bitch.
Okay.
Am I a person? Or am I a Muppet? Sucks. It sucks. You're wrong.
That song won an Oscar, and it's because it had two men in it.
It did, and that's true.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
That's
put
what it said
feminist,
on the award.
I'm gonna put feminist gets owned in the title of this video.
Yeah, boom. No, like literally the Oscar that they handed on the plaque, it said Muppet movie, had two men singing, die feminists, and then they handed it to whatever his name was.
Am I a gender neutral person? Or am I a Muppet? Okay. Also, when they go to get Fozzie and he's performing with the Muppets,
Yeah.
fucking Dave Grohl dressed up as Animal
Oh, yeah.
is so good.
Yeah, I love how this movie, like, does kind of want, like, that little bit of drama to it, and I feel like it
Right.
does it pretty well. Like, when it starts raining and Fozzie is like, quick, grab the cushions, like, it's kind
Right.
of a joke, but it's also really sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. I was gonna say there's a certain kind of humor that's like, you know, kind of funny on the surface, but also kind of sad in its own way.
Yeah.
And this movie's pretty good about that kind of thing.
Yeah, where it's like the Muppets aren't together. They've been gone. They have not been in communication for so long. And so, like, it's the Muppets who are going to, like, still be making jokes, but, like, it's kind of sad. Like, Kermit is living in the house that he was supposed to be living with Miss Piggy in, and they're not. Like, that's fucking sad, dude.
Right, yeah. Okay. So
So Bobo is my favorite. My second
Right.
favorite is absolutely Ralph.
right, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Ralph is so
They pick
good.
up Ralph. He's like, "Why wasn't I in the montage? I thought I was pretty interested." You want to get back together? Yeah, okay. It's just really
And I'm
good.
kind of mad that Ralph doesn't like get to play piano in this movie. Like, he does at the end, but you don't get the full, like, ear swinging
Yeah, when he's
ragtime
like,
piano Ralph.
I love Ralph. Like in the OG Muppet movie, where like Kermit's like sad at the bar and Ralph is like playing the piano and
It's
giving
real
him life
good.
advice is so good.
There's also, I want to point out, Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker in the fucking Large Hadron Collider.
That is what that is. I
Yeah.
never made that connection.
Because that's very funny. And also Scooter saying he's about to go give a TED Talk.
Yeah.
Also really
Off
good.
to the TED conference.
God, I want to see Scooter's TED Talk so bad.
I know, God. I wish that movie people were better at social media because, like, if it was like Muppets 3 advertising, here's Scooter's TED Talk, I would be there so fast. You
God,
don't
it's
even
so
know.
funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we get
So-
to Paris where they're about to meet Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to point out fucking Emily Blunt playing the receptionist.
Yeah.
Who's actually fucking really good.
That's the secretary?
Yeah, she gives like this weirdly, really engaging performance in this character.
I mean, she does. It's a fun character.
There's
Just,
this
like,
moment like right at the beginning where the Muppets walk up and they're like, excuse me, and she's like looking at her computer, and then she like notices them on the third time, and it's just like what the fuck? This is so like weirdly nuanced performance.
Well, she's like typing, and then she like hits the backspace button like 20 million times, and then turns around and looks at them.
Yeah, it's like,
it's just really good. Yeah,
genuinely, it's like a very good performance coming out of Emily Blunt in this role. Also, okay, I just want to point out, funniest joke in the whole movie. Are you ready?
Yeah.
They say, Miss Piggy won't be open for appointments until September. Walter says, September? That's almost 6 months away. And Fozzie says, that's nothing. One time I waited a whole year for September.
And they just, like, move on. They don't even give you a moment.
Funniest joke in the full fucking movie. Like,
to
it's
appreciate
so
how good that joke is. But, yeah. So then they do the Muppet Man joke. And that's just like...
Which is okay.
It's like one of those like classic Muppet sketches where like it's not funny, but it's still fine.
It's cute.
It's cute. It doesn't land, but we'll deal with it 'cause it's the Muppets.
Right.
But yeah.
I was gonna say it's a little bit funny when Miss Piggy's like, I can't believe I fell for Muppet Man. That's pretty good.
Marge, is that you? Are you here in the room?
I can't believe I fell for Muppet Man. Homie.
I still can't do a Marge. I can't do it.
Homie.
I don't have enough spit in my mouth.
You sound like you're dying.
Homie.
I wish you wouldn't do that. Okay, Adelaide, just go.
Homer. Homer, my husband. I can't do it. I can't do a Marge.
What's a classic Marge line? Okay.
I just think they're neat.
Kids, could you lighten up a little?
I can do Toad. Why can I do Toad? I can't do Marge.
It's as Toad say, I can't believe I fell for Muppet Man.
Can't believe I fell for Muppet Man. I'm Toad. Dude, this isn't anything anymore. No. This is just what voices can Adeline do.
Okay. But afterwards, when Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy like have their heart-to-heart talk in Paris, and Kermit's wearing this like black turtleneck with a scarf, it's so good.
Okay, listen, here's that Kermit and Piggy drama that you're always talking about that you want, Jackson.
No. Because this isn't even real. This is just like they broke up, and it's like kind of weirdly not specific. I like the ABC Muppets Show version better because we get to spend time with the characters being broken up. We get to like see their lives separately rather than it just being like whatever.
We've been talking about the ABC Muppets a lot, and Jackson just really wants that Kermit and Piggy drama. He's itching for it.
But also, okay, there's this line in that scene where Kermit says to Miss Piggy, why do you have to, it's like, why do you have to be so dramatic about everything? It leaves me no choice but to hurt you. And I was like, God damn, Kermit. Like,
yeah,
that is a really fucking real line. Yeah.
Yeah. See, they like totally just like walk this tightrope of like being a Muppet movie and then also kind of being a drama about a band that broke up.
Right,
and they like kind of keep jumping in between the two.
Right. But it's just one of those lines that like hits you out of the blue and you're like, what the fuck? Like,
whoa, I have to think about my life.
Yeah. Also, there's that shot of Miss Piggy where it's like a full body shot of a Muppet as Miss Piggy like sassily walks away.
Yeah, every time they do a full body shot of a Muppet, I always wish that they didn't.
Wouldn't. It's so good.
Because they never look right. Like, it's never right.
Okay. What do you say we start to wrap it up here? From here, they are about to start shopping their show to networks.
Yeah.
What do you say we call it here and we say hello to everybody in part 2?
Okay, see you in part 2.
See you in part 2. This is a wonderful 2-part episode.
Woo! It's a Memorial Day special. It
Memorial
won't
Day
be out.
celebration.
It will not be out on Memorial Day.
Yeah, well, it'll be out on Memorial Day weekend.
It'll be out on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it will. It'll come out this Sunday, which is... I think that Monday is Memorial Day.
Yes.
So yeah, it is a Memorial Day special.
Happy Memorial Day. I hope you don't have any dead relatives.
I hope you have no one to memorial.
To memorialize.
But if you do, that's cool too.
That's cool too. Have fun.
Have fun.
Have a great time. Yeah, what do you say about Memorial Day? Like, Happy Memorial Day is a little weird.
Right, yeah. Somber. I hope you have a somber and self-reflective Memorial Day.
Yeah, I hope you really think about your life choices this Memorial Day.
I hope that your grieving is healthy this Memorial Day.
Okay.
Anyway, next time.
Bye.